It has been over 2 decades since the premiere of The Matrix, yet this film is still relevant today with topics such as the world is a simulation or how we may be imprisoned by a totalitarian system. But why? Why has this movie transcended time? The Matrix is full of unanswered questions. Thus, this series of videos was made to answer those questions submitted by members and subscribers. Are you curious? Then welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Today's first question comes from Dwayne Vandenberg. Are the people from the Matrix smarter than the people from Zion? I mean, like more advanced in thinking because they went to university and lived in a more modern society than the people in Zion. In the Matrix universe, there are different types of humans. 2 variants so far as we know. The human-machine hybrids that were grown by the machines, and the human children born from the hybrids in the real world. Natural-born citizens of Zion like Tank and Dozer. The blue pills within the simulation have an education system similar to ours. Most blue pill children will grow up, go to school, then college. But their IQ is not so different or advanced from the inhabitants of Zion, who are also educated. Zion-born humans go through an education system and are tested, yet they're at a disadvantage compared to the red pills. The children of Zion's responsibilities are more focused. For example, instead of studying philosophy or social studies, they study how to pilot a hovercraft or an APU, learning archaeology to explore and find valuables out in the wasteland. Military and combat training are more important than art studies. Zion's educational system is one focused on the pragmatic and utilitarian. Despite the blue pills and the children of Zion are about the same intellectually, their potential is a different story. When a blue pill escapes the Matrix, they have the advantage to gain knowledge simply by downloading data to their brains from their head jacks. Remember when we mentioned that the children of Zion are born with a disadvantage? For the ex-blue pills, this transhumanism is decisive. They can connect to the Matrix to learn and interact. This makes the red pills a superior race of humans in comparison to Zion's naturally born humans. What could take a natural human decades to learn, a red pill could learn it in an instant. Just download the information from the net and install it to the brain. It's a perk that the red pills take full advantage of. Programs like the Construct were created for them to train and run Zion's security systems. So you could say that the Zion humans can be as smart as the average blue pill, but no smarter than a well-trained red pill that can boost their IQ in a matter of minutes. Our next question comes from Roman Vernick. Why Smith was cutting his hand? When Smith invaded Bane's body, he took control of the man's shell and his body in the real world. Agents by default cannot express emotions or feelings, nor do they feel pain. Smith was the exception, as he showed emotions such as hatred in the first movie. After Smith possessed Bane's body and exited the Matrix, he was experiencing new sensations through the man's body. Smith was curious. He cut himself because he wanted to know what pain felt like. He also discovered the true fragility of the human body. For this reason, Smith speaks to Neo disparagingly about the human body.
I admit it is difficult to even think encased in this rotting piece of meat. The stink of it filling every breath, a suffocating cloud you can't escape.
This is also evidence that Smith's words were prophetic when he said that he feared being infected by humans.
I can taste your stink. Every time I do, I fear that I've somehow been infected by it. It's repulsive.
Ironically, by the end, Smith became the very thing he hated. And our last question of the day comes from Zodiac BBX. My main question is, why is the Matrix movie so accurate to real life if it's just a movie? Like, something has to be going on. The answer to this question might be a bit complicated. The Matrix is not a conventional film. It is a rethinking of multiple human myths and legends. Take for example the allegory of the cave. This metaphor proposed by Plato tells the story of a small group of people who lived their whole lives trapped inside a cave. All they could see was shadows of animals on the cave walls, cast from a light source directly behind them. The men could not turn around to see that those shadows were of inanimate objects in shapes of creatures in front of a fire. They believed that the animals were real. One of the men manages to escape the cave and discovers that the shadows were not of real animals, and that there is a bigger light source outside of the cave, known as the sun. When the man returned to the cave, he told the others what he saw, but none of them believed him. This allegory is about how we are trapped by our own experiences and perceptions. The allegory of Plato was used in The Matrix. Although the film talks about computer simulations, advanced AI, and the end of the world, there are also new approaches to many philosophical ideas that have existed for thousands of years. We could compare the Matrix simulation to something like religion, of how humans who are tied to a single thought process established by a religious belief, and that if or when they woke up to reality, it would be like waking up from the Matrix. Other profound elements, such as the prophecy of a savior, transhumanism, reincarnation, and discrimination, are present in the Matrix. The fact that the Matrix touches on so many philosophical topics in less than 2 hours makes this movie a unique piece of cinematography that continues to be relevant today. Time changes the way we experience things. What was once described in Plato's cave, today we learn it through the simulation of the Matrix. Both are the same, yet different. They convey the same message, that the people outside of convention have more knowledge than those who are trapped. Some people need to see to believe, those people who need help to wake up, and so there are those who will help them. This is why The Matrix is still relevant over 20 years later. There is also the fact that scientists around the world have now ruled out the possibility that our world could be a computer simulation, and this theory continues to gain more followers by the day. As long as computer simulations and artificial intelligence are topics of discussion, The Matrix will be part of it. And who knows, maybe in the future, someone will prove that such a simulation does exist. Leave in the comments what other questions you would like us to answer. For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.